Pull it up, Eric. Context. So had the show, this girl, dating app review. She was wearing a shirt that says, "I like to make boys cry." And I called her out on it. And I had like a 20-minute back and forth exchange between basically me and the rest of the panel where they were trying to minimize this shirt. And I was basically trying to say, on a dating app, as a guy, if I were to wear a shirt that says, "I like to make women cry, I like to make girls cry," first off, I'd probably get reported and banned from that dating app instantly. But also, it's just society as a whole tends to view these things as, it's not a big deal. It's kind of quirky to fucking hate men. It's quirky as a girl to like have this like baseline hatred of men. And I was saying, like, as someone who thinks this cancel culture shit's bullshit, my thing is that, hey, cancel culture is here. So I'm going to, people are like, "Brian, why are you so offended by it?" But it's like, look, if the reverse is an issue, then I'm going to have an issue with it. If the reverse wasn't an issue, then that's fine. But you can't, my issue is more so with the double standard. If it would be inappropriate for me to wear a shirt that basically attacks women, then it should equally be problematic for someone to wear a shirt that is attacking men in this way. So we did the video, we posted a clip of it. It got, I don't know, a couple 100,000 views. People were overwhelmingly, there were a couple shorts too, clips. People were like, "Yeah, that's messed up." And the girls, when I was in person with them, talking to them about it, they were like scoffing. You know, they're like, "Bro, it's not a big deal. Like, you're being oversensitive, blah, 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 whatever." And so she DMs me a month after her appearance. Eric, can you pull up the DMs? The girl who was on the show who scoffed at me, she sends me this because apparently Megan the Stallion, who's a rapper, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you guessed like you didn't actually know, though.
Gabby's like, "That's my girl."
Who the fuck is that guy?
I have no idea. I don't listen to this music. Anyways, so she's wearing the exact same shirt that the girl was wearing who was on the podcast. Eric, can you go to the next one? And then she triples down because she doubled down on the podcast when I was like, "Hey, I think this is kind of inappropriate." She triples down, sends me this DM out of the blue, out of nowhere. "Funny how no one in the comments cares about the shirt, huh, LMAO." In any case, I mean, I didn't show my response, but I basically just said, "Hey, obviously fans of Megan the Stallion, who are probably women, who are probably woke, whatever, are not going to like take a critical look at a t-shirt that says, 'I heart to make boys cry.'"
It's hard to read anyway.
I guarantee you if Drake wore a shirt that said, "I heart to make women cry," there would be uproar. In any case, go to the next one, Eric. It's basically just her Instagram. You can, on the photo, there's an arrow. It just, you're going to have to go to window. Go to window. Okay, go click the arrow. Yeah, I mean, she's just wearing the thing. Almost 3 million likes. Basically, this sort of shit is accepted. Maybe it's a minor thing, but...
Is there a question here?
You want to
get their reaction?
I want to get the girl's reaction because it was related to a previous podcast episode.
I think I'm just tired of people just getting offended over just everything and anything. And before, a t-shirt really wouldn't offend anyone. And now people take everything so personal. And I just... Really, it depends on how she came across and how she was representing. But a lot of the times, and again, I'm a little bit older, but back in the day, it wasn't an issue for us. And that wasn't our focus. And now the focus is to go ahead and get mad over everything. Why? When we really should be focused on other things that are more important.
Are you saying Brian should stop crying about it?
Yeah. Absolutely. If not, then...
It's
stupid.
I understand the
principle
of it though, because
What'd you say?
a man wouldn't want, like, a man would get backlash wearing a shirt like that. So I understand the principle.
No,
of
standard. But my issue with it is the double standard.
Yeah.
It's look, is it like the crime of the century? No. But if we live in a society that would get offended over a man wearing a shirt that says, "I like to make women cry," and keep in mind, Megan the Stallion's a rap artist who gets endorsement deals and sponsorships. If a similar celebrity who was male wore a shirt like that,
yeah, people would be up in arms about it. People would be up in arms, but who cares?
Well, but it's hypocritical if the modern feminist movement is calling for equality.
I care because men's men's self-esteem, and men have been getting trampled on in the mainstream culture.
I think it's not equal if men are not allowed to get.
Here's the thing. If chicks want to wear shirts like that, I say by all means do it. Because to me, that is a massive freaking red flag, and it's like, okay,
why the fuck would you put that on a
talk
dating profile if you're trying to attract men?
Yeah.
I've seen
dumb.
Well, I've seen a lot of crazy shit on dating apps. Like, girls are openly will man hate on dating apps.
Well, they won't get very many matches.
Here's the
Why
thing,
are they
though.
there then?
Let it be out in the open at this point. Let it be out in the open.
Well,
Yes,
that's
you
fair.
can
Yeah,
have
they
something if you
should.
want.
They're outing themselves. You're right.
Yeah,
but
they're outing themselves.
Okay, but
It's
to your
like-
point, Brian, though, if the modern feminist movement is calling for equality, and they would say that shirt is women's empowerment, like women are being all tough and cool, it's not equality because men couldn't do the same thing without getting fucked over.
That's because the whole equality
Or
thing
criticized,
is a myth.
yeah.
It's a total lie.
Bullshit.
There's like, have you guys seen that meme that's been floating around of like the neon colored frog, and it says like certain animals in nature will wear certain colors to indicate that they're poisonous, and then it'll be juxtaposed next to like a purple haired feminist. Shania knows what I'm talking about.
seen that,
yeah. It's like chicks like that, if they want to put stuff like that in their dating profiles and stuff, yes. Is there a double standard? Absolutely. Is life full of double standards? Absolutely. But if they want to put that stuff in their dating profile, it's like, great.
More power to you.
Yeah, I and every other guy should know to stay far away. It's like when Hensley was on the show that time, and she was like, yeah, I really like emotionally manipulating guys and like breaking their hearts. I think it's fun. It's like, cool. Tell guys that so they know to stay away from you.
I agree with you that it's good that these women are outing themselves as pieces of shit, but like, my issue is broadly in society that this shit is tolerated when it comes to hatred and contempt of men and hatred and contempt of white people. It is mainstream allowed. You can say really derogatory things towards men and towards white people and towards Christians and towards straight people.
Yeah.
Totally fine. No worries. You say that same shit. You say that same exact shit against someone who's either gay or someone who's, you say it to a woman, you say it to someone who's a person of color, like
transgender.
You're going to get in major fucking trouble. So I guess that's my issue with it.
Hey,
Yeah,
bro, I mean,
society now
honestly,
makes us you can't.
I don't know. I mean, I said what I said, and I haven't really gotten in any trouble. So who
Yeah.
cares?
Well, it was a fact. So.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah.
I got this one for you,
Dude,
Chit.
people, Brian, what I just want to say, man, is people at the top of this entire pyramid and societal structure that we have are intentionally fomenting discord between the sexes and the races and everything in order to try and push our society to the brink. It is what it is. We can try and heal it as best as we can, but what I know is that the good women out there, they see chicks wearing shirts like that, and they're like, absolutely, I don't support that. And they see, women like Hensley saying, oh yeah, I love emotionally manipulating guys. They don't support stuff like that. Society is going to continue. It is going to continue to bifurcate in these two directions, where you've got based people that have like regular values, and you've got all of these insane people. And I say, let it happen, man. Let these people show their cards, because I don't want to live around them. You know what I mean? And like, I'd rather they show who they are and feel more emboldened and empowered to be this way, and we can just like separate.
Well, yeah, I think in some ways it's good that they're so open with their misandry so that you can avoid these types of people, but
they're everywhere.
That it's so allowed in mainstream society is troubling to me.
Yeah.
Yes, you should start asking who is allowing it and why are they pushing this stuff. But what I will say, because those are very important questions, folks, but what I will say is the reality is, even though this stuff continues to become more and more mainstream, it's still such a small percentage of the population. Like, there's a lot of women out there that believe in the man hating and stuff like that, but like the majority of people look at this stuff as completely ridiculous. Which is why it's important for podcasts.
I disagree with you a little, though. I don't think it's a small minority of people.
It's just because it's constantly shoved down your throat in every sense of every mainstream.
Exactly.
People in the real world, I don't feel like.
You talk to the average person, Brian, they're like, this is ridiculous.
They said that stuff about all the, geez, I don't know if I want to go here, but they said that all this kind of woke stuff Jordan Peterson had an interview 4 or 5 years ago with some chick in GQ. And her rebuttal to him was like, oh, well, this is just some crazy people in the universities, fringe professors here. It is the mainstream. Yeah. It is the mainstream culture.
Yeah, it's censored everywhere.
It's
the
mainstream culture because that is what is put out on the mainstream.
But
there are
yes.
people who don't believe it. But if the only thing that social media, news, if that's the only thing they're going to show, that's the only thing you're going to see.
But what is downstream of that? You have the universities, then you have the lower educational system. You basically have these indoctrination factories where the kids are going to school and their teachers are super woke and they're teaching them this bullshit. And
that goes back to having a relationship with your child. I asked my child, "What did you learn at school today? What tasks?"
But
and
that shouldn't even be a
point,
topic.
Brian's point is this is happening in higher education. And this is a very important point because all the girls that come through UCSB, they go in normal girls, they come out the other side like raging feminists and like BLM and like just every freaking social movement that you can possibly imagine that is oftentimes rooted in cultural Marxism. They go through higher education and they come out just super brainwashed by all this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And you can keep a tight pulse on what your kids are learning in school.
But once you go to college, I mean, I've been through it. I've been through,
adults,
you know.
They make their own decisions.
Yeah, people make their own decisions,
Yeah,
but also at the same time, they're
young.
inundated from every side by authority figures while they're still in these formative years of their life.
constant.
You're more
Especially-
impressionable though, like teenage years, not when
And-
you're not when you're a
College kids,
College is
college kids
college
are
18,
super
like-
impressionable. College kids are so impressionable.
They're most impressionable.
Also,
though, during
also when
high
it comes,
school,
yes,
adolescence,
I
they're not
agree.
adolescents anymore.
I agree, but like when kids are going through college and they're being told by every single authority figure around them, hey, this is how the world works. The entire world was set up to oppress you as an individual, and white men and Christians and straight people are here to oppress you. They hear it from every direction.
It's happening in the childhood as well. It's just full on
Yeah.
grooming at that point.
That's where I
especially
think it's more
too-
like permeable, whatever the word is.
Certainly.
During
well, even in
those adolescence
university,
Certainly.
it's-
When you're going to college, you're away from your parents for the first time. You're on your own. You're experiencing something you've never experienced before. Your parents aren't calling you, asking you what you're learning in class.
The
Your parents
peer
aren't
pressure
calling
is
you.
insane.
You're influenced by everyone around you because that's the only person that you have to speak, like that you talk to, that you're looking to your professors as people for guidance. You're going to you have an advisor, right? You have these like paternal or not paternal, but like adult figures in your
authority
life.
figures, yeah.
Not if you
are
raise your children
influencing.
right, though. If you raise your children right from adolescence, by the time that they're 18, 19, they'll be independent and thinkers for themselves. Because the way I was raised, by the time I was 18 years old, I never was peer pressured. I was thinking for myself, and my beliefs were my own. I wasn't like impressionable.
I
at
feel like
that
you're
age.
exceptionally independent
Absolutely.
though, and probably like strong.
The
and
general population is very impressionable and very persuaded by mainstream media, their teachers, everything.
All
So
4
based.
years,
It's true.
all 4 years of
Holly's
college,
hiding her power levels.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
All 4 years of college, I did like freshman orientation, and you can have people like these kids come in day one with this persona. By the end of their freshman orientation, in 1 week, majority of them are a new person. Like I saw a kid passed out drunk on a front yard. His mom didn't raise him to do that. He now had his own freedom.
I'm not saying
And
that the mom raised, but she
Right.
didn't raise that child to be independent and not be able to be influenced by others. That's
it's
what
also
I'm saying.
the peer shit though. Like even on these podcasts, like the last one I was on, you asked everybody like, "What is a woman?" and everybody went absolutely silent.
No
I saw
way.
that. I was